Guys, do you use Zyn? Do you have a crippling nicotine addiction? Well, I don't, but I want to watch a video about it because it's super interesting to me. The video is about Zyn and its rise in the USA. And as a European, I feel like it's a little bit weird that these nicotine little cancer pockets are regarded as something new, because I feel like that in Europe they have been here since forever. Alright, enough talking, let's watch the video.
Zyn is the latest tobacco product to be making headlines. These nicotine pouches have spawned a whole culture of Zynners who are using these pouches in place of their personality, and supply can barely meet the growing demand. And listen, if you thought
Man, it's crazy that how popular these nicotine pouches have gotten. Personally, I studied computer science, and I studied it from like 2018 until recently, and these nicotine pouches were super popular among programmers, especially the good ones. And so it's crazy to see that the big tobacco like got an opportunity and really pushed this in America. Let's watch the video.
vapes were bad, you're gonna hate Zyn. Thank you, Rocket Money, for sponsoring today's video. No, you are not imagining things. We are experiencing the holy trinity of the tobacco industry.
Okay.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. First, we had cigarettes that gave us cancer. Then they created vapes that gave kids lung disease. And now we have Zyn pouches to deal with. God, I love our world. I am a 30-year-old dad out here learning with you.
Okay.
And believe me when I say that this is one of the most baffling trends that I've seen in a while. And we have covered a few of them. If you want to subscribe.
Why is it baffling? Like, there's so much money behind this. There's such a powerful people running these tobacco companies. Of course they're gonna try new things, new marketing. It's to be expected. There's nothing surprising about this.
To stay up to date with all the weird stuff out there that you do not want to get involved with, subscribe. Okay, now I shouldn't need to tell you how big of a deal the tobacco industry is, but I guess I have to. Every single year, the global tobacco industry rakes in $800 billion from 1.25 billion cigarette smokers.
Wait, how much? Well, I knew it was big, but holy shit, 886 billion? In 2023, globally there are 1.25 billion adult tobacco users. That's more like 10% of population. Like there's 8 billion people or something like that, right? Divide by 8, multiply by 10. Alright, I'm not gonna do it, but it's about something like more than 10%. That's insane.
Smokers, cigar aficionados, dippers, vapors, and more. If you compare this to another industry that sucks, the total vacuum industry is worth only like $40 billion. So it's a huge deal. What makes this truly impressive is also that this is happening despite decades of government regulation and social stigma. We haven't made a video about cigarettes.
Social stigma. Does he mean the CDC program? Like, that's not stigma.
Decades of government regulation.
That's government program meant to, like, emphasize the dangers of the tobacco. However, the problem is that people don't give a shit. Like, you think anyone gives actually shit about this? Be careful to not cut your stoma. Like, no one gives a shit. Like, have you ever talked to someone who is smoking? Like, they're like, haha, at least I'll don't die old, I'll die young. Fuck that, man. It's like, it's not stigmatized. It's not like it's socially unacceptable to smoke. Unless you're smoking in a hospital or something. Or maybe it's at least, I'm from Europe, so I'm speaking from a European perspective, but I don't think it's stigmatized. If you feel like it's stigmatized in US, please leave me comments down below, because I'm really curious about this.
We haven't.
But these government programs, that doesn't mean it's stigmatized. It's just that it's a government program that it's meant to make sure that people at least understand the dangers, right? And I think that's an amazing thing, by the way. It's like not that I like that people are smoking. I actually fucking hate it. I wish that no one would be smoking or using this shit. But like, let's be real here. This shit just doesn't work. It doesn't work, okay?
We haven't made a video about cigarettes because we sort of figured that it was common knowledge at this point. But we have made a video about vaping if you were interested in checking that out after this video. To give you a bit of a rundown though on that, governments have since cracked down on vapes with a degree of success, which seems to have only opened the door for the newest iteration of nicotine to sprout, which is pouches.
Give me one of them pouches. I'm still trying to figure out if I can...
Can I, wait, let me rewatch that?
A degree of success, which seems on that, governments have since cracked down on vapes with a degree of success.
Cracked down? Okay. Was there any regulation?
Seems to have only opened the door for the newest iteration of nicotine to sprout, which is pouches.
Give me one of them pouches. I'm still trying to figure out if I can...
I'm sorry if it seems like I'm too critical about this video, but I actually seen a video before from this channel, Future Proof, and it was not a very well-researched video, and I understand it because it's really hard to make original content, but it kind of makes me a little bit of suspicious of the facts, right?
Mixing is the problem.
It's covered.
In just a few short years, these
But it's
little
well edited. I'll give him that. It's like, it's very watchable. It's really nice. It's really easy to watch.
white packets of nicotine salts have become so much more than just a smoking alternative, and it is a little nauseating. Zynn's massive success today is partially because it solved a couple of pretty big problems with tobacco's previous products. Cigarettes, as you may already know, are a nightmare for your physical health, and they're just kind of disgusting to be around generally. But the tobacco industry created perhaps one of the most impressive brainwashing campaigns to convince literally everyone from the 20s to basically the 80s that cigarettes were actually healthy and like a social barometer of your coolness. And I know that we all know this today, right? But it's kind of hard for us to imagine today a culture where everyone, including the doctor in the hospital talking to you, is smoking a cigarette.
Guys, I know that this can be kind of abstract, but it's like, imagine that there is a person, actual real human being, that had to orchestrate this. It's not like this kind of shit happens by accident, right? Someone had to consciously do it. And the thing is that there are people like this. There are like total psychos like this that like they don't care about like hurting global health or something. No, they just want the new bonus for their salary, and you get these global health issues, these global health emergencies as a result.
Cigarette do you smoke, doctor?
Of course,
Fucking
today
disgusting.
now, the social stigma against smoking is very real, and it's hit the industry hard. And
Is it,
vaping
though?
was sort of like their reaction to try and revive the glory days.
I don't know anyone who finds, like, maybe this is a different in Europe. I'm from Slovakia, which is like this little bit of a shithole country. I've been also in Czechia for a long time. But like smoking, it's like, I don't think it's stigmatized. It's like, sure, it smells bad, but no one would. It's not like doing like hard drugs. Like doing hard drugs, that's really that's the true meaning of the word stigmatized. But when you see someone smoking a cigarette on like outside, you don't immediately get disgusted. Well, maybe I do, but most people don't. And so that's why I don't believe that that is stigmatized.
When everybody was addicted to their product. However, vaping has lost its charm, and today it's found itself...
Man, I mean, this H3H3, he's so funny. At least he used to be, and like, I think he did this video totally out of fun. And unfortunately, it blew up so bad, and it ended up like promoting this vaping, like globally. It was like, you're probably watching this from America, and no, it was not just in the US. It was a global phenomenon that like this Ethan from H3H3, like, he accidentally make vaping really fucking popular. It's fucking crazy.
Today, it's found itself in a similar social order as cigarettes today. But Zyn has opened up a whole new world for them. All right, I've just popped out to get a haircut, and now I'm back to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, which is Zyn.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be crazy? The sponsor of today's video is Rocket Money. Now, there are people out there buying enough tins of Zyn to make tiny tanks out of them, and this has got to cost a fortune for the people doing it. Now, maybe a lot of Zyn users don't care about the financial repercussions of their addiction, but if you have any issues whatsoever with managing your budget or keeping track of bills, Rocket Money is here to help. They are the all-in-one finance app that helps you save money and spend less. Rocket Money helps you manage your subscriptions, lower your bills, build a custom budget, and grow your savings, all in one platform. It also helps monitor your credit and analyzes your spending habits to create a customized budget that actually works for you. I have personally found it very helpful to get notifications when I've exceeded my limits so that I know when I need to get back on track. Rocket Money can also help you lower your bills by negotiating for you from internet service to cable and even phone bills. To save even more and spend even less, join the over 5 million members using Rocket Money today. Go to rocketmoney.com/futureproof.
Rocketmoney/futureproof,
down in the description to get...
To be honest, I don't think that this is very revolutionary. Like, most people can probably like check their spending in their banking app, but I can see like this being useful for like some nicotine addicts or people with addictive personality. Alright, let's get back to the video.
Get started for free. You can also unlock /futureproof to get yourself started.
Alright, wrap it up.
Zyn is the new money for sponsoring today's video. So if vaping was the new cigarettes, Zyn is the new chewing tobacco. Now, chewing tobacco was the new cigarettes. Zyn is the new chewing tobacco.
Isn't Zyn a chewing tobacco? And am I getting it wrong? Isn't chewing tobacco that you like put it next to your gums and like it stays there? Isn't it like exactly the same thing?
Tobacco. Now, chewing tobacco was never as popular as cigarettes were, but somehow the culture tolerated the spitting and the tooth rot that was associated with it, maybe because, I don't know, it was like the younger sibling to the popular kid in school, you know? And if we're sticking with the siblings metaphor here, cigarettes would be the eldest, vapes would be the middle kid, and that makes Zyn the youngest, and therefore the favorite, obviously. Zyn doesn't have the social baggage of smoking, it doesn't have the disgusting side effects of chew,
go with that.
And now it has one of the biggest social movements behind it, magnified by social media.
I have receding gum.
See, now this is what I'm interested in. The social, like, how is this perceived in USA?
Okay? Oh, sorry, this one is in. That's probably why my gums are receding, to be honest.
Now, with this context, you can see why the trend is so huge. It's the perfect hack for people who want that tobacco hit without the dirty looks. Apparently, the Swedes have been using a version of this technology since the 70s.
Yes,
Classic Swedes,
yes,
eh?
right.
I mean, of course,
see,
they
this
would
is
come
not
up
new. This is not new.
with a spit-free, smoke-free way of getting their nicotine fix anytime they like. Just a bunch of hot, blonde people who love nature and good interior design. They're out there paying taxes, getting social services with a pouch in their lip, taking their daily dose straight into the bloodstream. Classic Swedes. So, there have been versions of this pouch thing around for a while, but it was Zyn that brought the habit to the States in 2014. And quickly, they became the Kleenex of nicotine pouches. This rise in popularity is
when it came to the,
a while,
to the
but
US,
it was Zyn that brought the habit to the States in 2014.
2014,
Quickly,
alright.
It became the Kleenex of nicotine pouches. This rise in popularity is partly due to its natural appeal as a way to get your nicotine fix easily and
natural.
discreetly.
I hate when people use this word. It's like, oh, it's 100% natural. It's like man, Jesus.
But it's also due to the crazy and honestly kind of confusing amount of social hype around this
Natural.
product.
What the fuck
Recent
is that?
demand has risen
A Zyn shortage is busting users' buzz as company halts on online sales.
so rapidly that it sparked a Zyn shortage. The
Yeah, I
so-called
remember this. It was like a meme
Zyn-demic.
for a while.
Zinfluencers across the Zinternet are pushing this stuff like crazy, and people are casually hitting up their friends
Zinfluencers. What the fuck?
for a Zinni. It seems like there is a growing culture around this product
little
that is
Zinni,
helping
man.
to normalize it and promote its use. At the forefront of this strange social craze are these
How is this not regulated? Holy heck.
so-called Zinfluencers who are promoting themselves as
I don't know, man.
sort of like are these so
Wait for it, guys. I don't think this guy is convincing me of anything, to be honest. Yeah, man, I I don't know. I kind of don't feel like it, man.
who are promoting themselves as sort of like productivity hackers, I guess, with Zyn as a key ingredient
right.
in their success. Now, of course, a lot of
I mean, to be fucking honest with you guys, like, I mean, it's crazy how these programmers that were addicted to nicotine were programming so good. It was like they were just like they would solve problems so fast that it was like 10x fucking speed. Like it was crazy. But they were probably also really high IQ, and the nicotine was just like something to keep your motivation up or something. Most people view like computer science as some like easy job, but it's like probably one of the most stressful jobs ever. Yeah, I really disliked it. I'm really happy that I didn't become a programmer because it fucking sucks.
this is just a meme, right? They're having fun with the name, and it's sort of a part of this performative bro culture. But there is a very real side to this culture as well. You have people like Tucker Carlson basically preaching the benefits of Zyn.
All of a sudden you feel good.
Yeah.
Then you feel the power rising from your central nervous system, and then sort of going outward through all the nerve endings down to the tips of your fingers.
Pro advice, guys. Don't take health advice from a person that believes that humans were literally created by God and that evolution is not real. Am I crazy? Yeah.
And then up here,
Just a little
it
advice,
starts
you know.
crackling the synapses.
Just close your
Something's telling me that that's not a good idea.
eyes.
Young men are asking politicians to sign their Zyn cans. And perhaps unsurprisingly, it's also become a sort of symbol for conservative men in America.
Really?
Now, Fox wrote a
Interesting.
full article on how Zyn is basically a gateway drug to fascism, which might be a little dramatic, but it does
Just like you shouldn't take health advice from Tucker Carlson, don't take political opinions from women with blue hair.
how Zyn is basically a gateway drug to fascism, which might be a little dramatic, but it does touch on something that is
stupid.
helping push the growth and success of this product. Whether or not the Zyn marketing team intended their product to be used in this way, Zyn has become a social indicator for right-leaning men.
Was analyzing this pic after the fucking full send pod ski today. What do we got right there, buddy? Is that a little fucking Tinsker? Is that a little city? Is that a little city? Little city? JD's a
my
fucking city,
God.
guys.
My god.
6 milli vanillis, too. Heavy hitter. Let's go, baby.
Just earlier this year, a senator started talking about regulating these
It's
products.
Dr. Mike.
And that alone earned threats for, and I quote, a Zynsurrection.
Zinsurrection, the same Democrats that want to legalize all drugs and have ripped our borders, flooding our country with fentanyl, a real weapon of mass destruction killing 300 Americans a day, wants to ban Zyn. Democrats are idiots. Well, alright. Like, it's really hard to make a good drug policy. It's because it's so socially controversial. Like, I have some ideas how to improve it, but I really don't want to share them because it's so controversial, right? It's really unfortunate situation, and because it's also so politicized. I mean, I think everyone would agree that people dying to drugs is not a good idea, right? But however, banning the drugs creates this market for basically mafia that creates supply chains and gets really powerful from selling these illegal products. And so it's like you can either have drugs legal and like regulated, safe and all that, or you can ban them. And it's like by banning them, you really prop up mafia. It's like what also happened with the alcohol ban in the USA. Like, it just spawned a bunch of mafia people with a lot of influence. And I think, like, these shadowy people have a lot of influence, like, still today, like, from that. From these insane billions of dollars of money from this illegal drug peddling. Alright, let's continue. That was a little bit of a tangent.
High-profile political figures on the right side of the political spectrum. Now, this political allegiance might seem trivial or even detrimental to a company exclusively interested in making money off of people wherever possible, but this cultural tie actually ensures their future success.
Right.
Perhaps without them even trying to, Zyn has tapped into a die-hard fan base. Today, more than ever, the products that we consume
I don't think it's random. Like, these people with $800 billion in profits, do you think that this super advantageous position that they got into happened randomly? I think, like, of course it can happen, right? Not everything is not everything is a fucking conspiracy or something, but I would find this really, really suspicious. It's like, did this happen randomly, or did a person in marketing team make sure of that this happened, right? Which is more probable?
Them even trying to, Zyn has tapped into a die-hard fan base. Today, more than ever, the products that we consume are indicators of our ideology and our sense of self. The pack of Zyn in your pocket tells people who you are. This is just classic old school tribalism, but in a modern context. However, you won't see any of this from the brand itself. If you Google Philip Morris, the parent company that owns Zyn, you will notice that it is delivering a smoke-free world. Never mind the fact that they are the company that literally owns Marlboro. Now, if we step away from the bros and the sort of prospective social impact of these things, we can point to some very real-world reasons why these things might be popular. One of the biggest of which being that nicotine pouches are popular because they're supposed to be better for you than cigarettes. Zyn describes their pouches as a life-saving product. Much like their nicotine gum and vapes of the past, it's supposed to be a cigarette alternative. But this is the tobacco industry that we're talking about, right? Our writing team spent days reading articles and studying the anecdotes from the internet randoms who happen to like.
This is entire team making these videos? Holy shit, then I take it back. Like, they should have it better researched. Like, this, to be fair with you, this is a pretty good video. This is a killer video. But they had couple videos different from this that I really didn't like. It was like poorly researched. It was like, it also had a higher dislike ratio because it just didn't resonate with the viewers. Yeah, it's like, do better, guys. You have to do better job researching. Just like honest feedback.
These things. And what we have been able to discern is that there's not really a lot to be learned about these things right now. We have a fair amount of data on tobacco, we have less on smoke-free options, and we have basically nothing on ZYN itself. So right now, a lot of the rhetoric on both sides of the debate.
Hold on. Alright, so I checked Google Scholar whether it's true that there's no research. Well, there's not a lot of research, but like telling there's no research, that's a bit of a overstatement, I think.
We have basically nothing on ZYN itself. So right now, a lot of the rhetoric on both sides of the debate relies on anecdotal evidence and unproven hypotheses based on what little we know about this thing. And honestly, that's kind of to be expected with such a new product.
Right.
But we can paint a picture of a few possibilities. Quick side note here.
I mean, to be honest, like the snus is super similar to this. Like, I would be super surprised if it was like less harmful than the snus.
If you are interested in any of the details of the things that we're talking about and these references that we're making, we leave a sources document in the description of every single video where you can go in and comb through where we are getting all of these stats and facts from. So do with that what you will. So while this might sound sketchy and not what you would want as a company with a fresh new product, it is completely in line with the big tobacco's playbook to have a product that is unproven and sort of running wild amongst the masses.
Right. But it's crazy because like the chewing tobacco, like it's not new. It's not new. It has been like here since forever. So like, to be honest, I don't know if the pouch makes like a huge difference. It seems crazy to me that should make a difference, right? But if they can like market it as something new, like of course they would. Like I like if I was in a position of a executive of Philip Morris, I would do exactly the same thing. Everyone would do this.
Remember when vapes first came out? Colors and the flavors were unlimited, and the potential health risks were sort of tossed aside because it simply wasn't smoking, right? This liminal space between when a technology is implemented and when it's regulated is a sweet spot for any company that wants to make a lot of money very quickly. Now, it seems like basically everyone agrees that ZYNs are better for you than cigarettes, and we've found plenty of anecdotal stories online about how effective it can be as an aid to quit smoking. But the way that ZYN...
Right, like there were literature reviews about like health effects of tobacco products. I think these nicotine lozenges, it's the word I think. Basically, it looks like a little sweet candy. You put it into your mouth and it's like nicotine. That was ranked among the least bad for you. Also nicotine spray. And so it is on a scale, right? But it's so convenient for this tobacco industry that we don't really know where this new thing is on a scale. But I find it kind of weird, like, because to me it's almost the same thing like the snus tobacco. Like, what's really the fucking difference here? I think it's like, all right, I need to stop yapping and start watching.
and other nicotine pouches are being presented is where the truth can really be found. We've seen this pattern...
To be honest, I kind of had enough of this video.
...in a number of industries, where the emphasis is not on enjoying a substance intentionally, but in making it as easy as possible so the temptation to overindulge is always there.
Okay.
Sugar is a perfect example of this.
True.
Alcohol is a perfect example of this. There's just not much about these products that encourages self-control. The slim form factor, the discretion of sticking it in your lip, the hustle culture that it's associated with, especially for young people with high pressure jobs who depend on stimulants.
Exactly. Like banking, investment banking, software engineering, all of these high stressful jobs, high paying stressful jobs. I imagine that doctors would be also using this if it wasn't for the stigma that I believe it's there if you are in a hospital, maybe, but anywhere else I think it's kind of like meh. A lot of these high-skilled people use this.
Just to get through the day, Zyn addiction could be a very normal thing in the very near future. The big concern here is that a new generation of Zynners addicted to this stuff are kind of like guinea pigs in this mass social experiment. And of course, without knowing the true outcomes, we can probably deduce that this product is going to be very addictive. And there's lots of examples of people online right now saying that it is. And the thing is, we really don't know what the long-term effects of these nicotine pouches are, especially for the kids who are sucking on them every hour of the day and night. Now, you might be tempted to think that Zyn is going to be a good thing because it's the product that finally eliminated cigarettes, but they're actually just the rebirth.
I would take that. I would take that because when someone smokes a cigarette, it fucks with me, even though I have no part in it. And if people were to use these nicotine pouches, well, it just fucks them. And well, if you want to fuck yourself, then go fucking ahead. But it doesn't affect me. Like, I would love that. I would take that.
Of the tobacco industry. Just like how a huge portion of the vaping industry is dominated by big tobacco, they're now buying up nicotine pouches. Zyn is a key component for Philip Morris's stock market success right now, which just raises all kinds of concerns about what's possibly going on behind the scenes. The best possible thing that could happen for these companies is if the world gets hooked on Zyn without us fully understanding what is in them. And the thing is, we know the extent that they went to achieve this with cigarettes, how they manipulated data, how they bribed doctors.
What is Anthem? I mean, I find this hard to believe. Well, like, you can do lab tests, although they are expensive. But you can do them, and it's also with Coca-Cola, like, oh, it's this like meticulously crafted secret recipe locked away in 3 safes, and it's like, bitch, what are you talking about? Have you heard of GCMS? There's this thing called GCMS, and you put liquid in this machine, or set of machines rather, because it's multiple techniques. And it tells you exactly what the liquid is made of. It's like, where's the secret in that? Right, let's get this video over.
The government and advertise to children. And no, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're doing that with Zyn right now. Thankfully, in many ways, their hands are tied because of the things that we implemented in the wake of cigarettes. But that still doesn't mean that anyone should be trusting these companies. And this is what I find absolutely baffling about the people who are promoting Zyn in any way. Now, I am of the opinion that you shouldn't be a sort of mindless fan of any corporation's product, but the tobacco industry has a near perfect record of being the worst. So no, we don't really know where this is going, but if you appreciate our interpretation of these kinds of things happening in our world today and it helps you understand and make better choices in your own life, consider liking and subscribing this video to see more content from us every single week.
Alright guys, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.